What's up, everybody? We are at Eisei in Kyoto here in Kyoto City. We've got Bonsai Empire visiting us from overseas during the week of the Taikon 10, and we thought we'd do something special this week by repotting this juniper. Now, this isn't kind of like a normal time to do a repot because it is the fall, but we're going to basically slip pot this tree into a brand new container. And I want to walk you through kind of the thought process behind this because again, kind of a strange time to do it, but also the container that we're putting it in is a little bit unconventional. Before we get into that though, I just want to explain a little bit about this particular tree. So this was developed by a bonsai professional here in Japan named Osamu-san. He is the former apprentice of Mr. Kunio Kobayashi. He acquired this tree, I believe, from Mr. Kobayashi as almost like raw material. It is a Yamadori, but basically raw material with very little development on it. He put all of this work into it, taking off unnecessary branches, building out these kind of interesting little jin features, and then building this very beautiful kind of soft bunjin style to the tree. This tree has been featured in the Sakufuten, which is a creators exhibition in Japan in the past. And as a matter of fact, if any of you have acquired the recent 50-year anniversary book of the Sakufuten, this tree is featured in that book. And it was actually featured in a similar pot to this, but a little bit higher quality version of this pot. So this is more of a kind of training pot for the tree. It's an antique Chinese pot, but it's broken. That's why it's a training pot. So for this demo though, what we're going to be doing is moving this tree to, like I said, a very unconventional pot. And that happens to be this strange pot right here. So the reason we're moving it to this pot is because in a year from now, I'm going to be doing a very special exhibition here in Kyoto with a good friend of mine from the United States, Nao Tokutake. He's a pot maker from the Portland area. He's making custom pots, kind of different, interesting, unique pots for some of my trees. And then a very good friend of mine from Mallorca, Spain, Neil, is actually going to be making some paintings for each of these displays. So it's kind of a three-man show that we're putting together here in Kyoto in a year from now. So this is a pot that's now made specifically for this tree using American California clay, but it sort of mimics the clay of a very famous potter here in Tokoname known as Maruhei. And Maruhei's characteristics were that he would use kind of a yellowy type clay. Very unconventional when it comes to junipers, but this particular clay from California gets really good patina in a very short amount of time. So I suspect in a year from now, this pot will look as if it's aged 10, 15, 20 years, which is very cool. So without further ado, I'm going to have my buddy Rafa Torres from Mallorca, Spain, and Oscar from Bonsai Empire help me out with the repot on this tree. But first things first, we're going to take it out of its original pot and look at the root system. All right, so one of the issues with this particular tree is that some of the jins are very, very fragile, including this really important one down towards the base. So to prevent us from bumping that and ripping it off by accident, I'm going to use basically just plastic bags here to create kind of a little buffer between the jin and the trunk, and then I'm going to use some aluminum wire to secure it all together. That way it's a little bit more stable as we do this repot. All right, so I'm gonna lift the tree up if you can pull this out. Yeah. Okay, there we go. Flip it the other way. Okay. Kobayashi's apprentice, Osamu-san, did this styling. He's a very nice guy. Lift it up a little bit. Okay, pick it up, okay. Excellent. Let's, healthy. Very healthy. Let's just try setting it in here just to see where we are. Oh, perfect, yeah. We need to take some off the bottom to sink it down. And that's basically it. That's gonna look cool. It's different, it's very different. Okay, you wanna step back? All right, I'll lift it out if you wanna grab the pot out.
put out?
Yeah.
Pot,
Yeah, set the pot off to the side.
Learn how to create your own bonsai trees by enrolling in one of our online bonsai courses. We explain techniques like pruning, wiring and repotting, and you can ask questions to the teachers. For the curriculums and free lessons, go to bonsaiempire.com/courses.